Hey y'all, back again, another hymn backstory on another Sunday. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know any requests that you want me to play and give you the backstory of. Yeah, I would really appreciate if you like and comment, subscribe, please. You don't want to miss another video. Come on, these are great. I've enjoyed doing this series. I know several people who have enjoyed this series as well. So if you don't want to miss another video, click the bell and make sure you're getting all of the notifications. And as always, the information is not my own. Most of it is common knowledge, but I just want to do a disclaimer. Again, Robert J. Morgan and Thomas Nelson own the copyright of Then Sings My Soul, where I get all of the information from my hymn backstory videos. The only thing I own is my summary of the articles and my playing of the hymns. So, without further ado, we're going to get into it. Today's hymn is kind of inspired by the theme of my church services last week, this week, and next week. We've been doing an emphasis on missions, and this morning we had one of our missionaries, Biz Larice, to Haiti and the Dominican Republic, preach in church. Just kind of give a testimony of what has been going on, what his ministry has done since he was last with us. So, with that theme in mind, I chose Rescue the Perishing by Fanny Crosby. This hymn was written in 1869 while she was visiting her friend William H. Stone, who, if you remember right, wrote the music to a number of her hymns and more hymns, other people's hymns. While she was visiting him, he asked her if she would address some blue-collar workers, just to give some encouragement, her testimony. If you recall, Fanny Crosby was blinded by a quack doctor, pretty much, who put warm or hot boiling poultices on her eyes to get rid of an infection, which caused her to go blind. But while she was speaking, she got this urgent sense that there was at least one person, one young man who needed to be saved. And she addressed the crowd, the blue-collar workers, basically saying, if there is anybody who has wandered away from God, wandered away from his mother's teachings, and must be rescued, please come see me afterwards, after the service. After the service, an 18-year-old young man came up to her, and he's like, I think you mean me. I've wandered so far from the Lord, and I promised my mother that I would go to her in heaven, but by the way I'm living, I don't think that's possible right now. And Fanny, it comforted the young man and had the joy and privilege of leading him to Christ. Returning to her room that night, she couldn't get that theme, Rescue the Perishing, out of her head. And she quickly penned the 4 verses and chorus to this hymn and gave it to her friend the next morning, who wrote the music and had it published very soon after, the following year. Many years later, while she was speaking at a YMCA in Massachusetts, Fanny Crosby recounted the story behind Rescue the Perishing. After the service, and I'm getting chills. A man approached her, and his voice was shaking with emotion. And he said, "Miss Crosby, I was that boy who told you more than 35 years ago that I had wandered from my mother's God. That evening you spoke, I sought and found peace, and I have tried to live a consistent Christian life ever since. If we never meet again on earth, we will meet up in yonder." They never saw each other again. But Fanny Crosby later described it as one of the most gratifying experiences of her entire life. And this hymn also inspired Fanny to get into missions work. She would go volunteer at the rescue missions afterwards, and sing, play, well, not really sing, but recount stories, serve whatever she needed to help the perishing, help the lost people find the Lord. So that was the backstory to Rescue the Perishing by Fanny Crosby. And I think it's a really touching story. So now we are going to try to play it. Well, the playing didn't go as planned, but I hope the story behind it touched your heart, and maybe even hope you want to rescue the perishing yourself, going to missions work. So I apologize for the playing. I did practice beforehand, but I don't know what happened. So just have a open mind, I guess. And you have a good day and a happy Sunday. God bless.